almost tipped over on these high heels. How are you? Welcome to the crack of dawn. We're doing a double episode tonight because really, I only did like not very much. And I realized that my fruit bowl is much too small. I mean, it's not, I drew it right. But Tyler and I were saying, you know what? Let's make it bigger because it's just fruit. It's all about the fruit and there's just too much other stuff going on. So that's what you call composition. As an artist, someone will say, he's really good at composition or she's really good at composition. What that means is what you choose to put in the background. So after I get started, I realized like, yeah, that was kind of silly to put the cameraman and all this stuff in the background. But you know what? I'm going with it because like I said, painting at Fork and Fire, painting at the Hot Air Balloon Festival, painting at Dairy Queen, that is how I practice. And so when I paint live, still lifes, real events, that's what's most important to me. So I really enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun and I'm okay at it. I mean, I don't know. I add a little stories in there, so they're fun. So this one, we're gonna carry off where we left behind, or carry on where we left behind. I never bothered to get a bigger brush because, yeah, we're just gonna do it with what we have here. So I've got these kind of brushes that go down like a staircase that I always love, and I don't know what they're called, flat brushes, but there's another word on it, a flat, ooh, I forgot. It's been a while, but again, you don't need to use all the art jumbo mumbo to paint. It's no big deal. So I forgot, but maybe a Filbright or something, maybe. So I've got the same colors, and I'm just gonna bomb right in here, and I'm gonna make my fruit bowl a bit bigger, okay, so I can put more fruit in it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the white, okay, and I'm gonna make the fruit bowl bigger. And the fruit bowl, it's glass from Landis, such a nice family. Oh. It goes like this, okay, and I'm just making the bowl bigger. So I already drew it when you were off the air, so you didn't see. And it's a glass see-through bowl, so I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger and I can add more fruit and I can have less, you know, I'm basically altering my composition because I don't want a little teeny fruit and I don't want cameras all in the background because it's all about the fruit. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of bananas. I like these. The grapes I like. My kids still, 15 and 12, I have to cut them in half. I don't know if it's that little hole on the top, but I slice it right through that hole. Maybe they're afraid of it. I have no idea. Or sometimes I chop it off. I mean, that's what they do at the Ritz-Carlton. Not that I go there all the time, but I know they do. I've been to fancy places, and when you get a fruit cup, you don't have any of that like leftover stuff on, okay? It's all perfection. Fiji water and perfection. So let's go back, and the bananas are fine. I'm gonna put another one of those ruby reds in there, and even though it's really not in front of me, I've got this peach color that we made with red, white, and yellow mixed together. The ruby reds are really beautiful fruit. I was gonna stop at Mountain View Farm and see Jenny and grab some fruit from her, but I don't know what they have out there yet. They just opened, great little shop next to mine. Speaking of my shop, I think I'm gonna have an auction, like 2 Sundays in a row, or maybe not in a row. And I'm gonna put chairs in my parking lot and give everybody a paddle with a number on it. And we're gonna have food and beverages, and we're gonna have fun. And because if my shop is selling, then I don't really have anywhere to go. And I don't really have a big house, so I can't have all that stuff in there. So I'm thinking, you know, we'll even start some of the paintings. I mean, $20. Hey, you know, I have to weed the stuff out. So if someone says 40, great. If someone says, oh, 100, we'll see what happens. But don't feel like you're being cheap if you're getting a painting for $10. Because really, I don't have anywhere to put them, and I really want to spread them around. And so I'm always painting anywhere, so I always have an inventory. You know, it'll be sad to let some of them go, but that's the reality. You know, everybody's shopping online. I mean, my daughter, she sneaks. I see their little $4, $5 things here and there, but she is on Amazon with my card because I told her she could. And she's pretty responsible with it, but, you know, obviously not all the time. And then, you know, they buy little things, show up on my doorstep. My husband's hooked. Okay, his pumpkin is now, oh, I don't know how big it is now. There's like 6. And on one, when you're growing these massive pumpkins that he's growing, it's really interesting. And I'm gonna start painting his pumpkins too. It's interesting, he's out there all day long. He has syringes. I mean, you'd think we were drug addicts back there. They're all over the place. He puts them into the plant because he's gotta kill these I forgot what they're called, board-eating worms or something. He's obsessed. Okay, so we put the grapefruit in. That looks great. I mean, he's trying to grow the Guinness Book of World Records, so it would be over 2,500 pounds. And they're like this big now, like the plate, okay? But by the end of October, the one last year was bigger than as tall as one of these, probably as tall as the easel. It was big. So let's add some grapes. Some of the grapes are black and some are purple. And we have a guinea pig, Coco. Ooh, I gotta not do that on Brooks's paper. The guinea pig, Nettie said, feed him a grape. So I gave him a black grape. He grabbed it like that, took it, chomped it up. And then I gave him a purple grape. Nope, wouldn't eat it. So interesting, huh? How the grapes are different. The grapes in the background, they look black, and they kind of are. So I'm gonna mix black with red and blue, which red and blue makes purple. And I'm gonna put those in there. And I snuck a couple when you were offline, because we just went right in, did a double episode. It's fun, okay? Now when you're painting, I'm sure you're not gonna paint as fast as I'm doing. And you know what? If I slowed it down, I'm sure I would be a better instructor than just whipping these out here and there. But I want you to watch the shows. And you know, it's kind of boring when people go on and on. It's like a movie that goes on, and you're like, oh, let me think of one of those movies. Well, I have to tell you that the Titanic movie, although I loved it, was very long. I don't know how people go to the movies twice. I mean, 5 times? Ooh. I've seen Jaws a lot, so I am guilty. You know, we like that movie in our house. And we've been watching it for a while. You know, when you're from the Cape and you have all these connections like we do, we love the Cape and the islands, okay? I'm gonna put some black in there too, because the grapes are gonna have some lights and some darks, and the black is gonna be my best friend in the end. I can also use the black to define the darker parts of my fruit basket bowl. So what I can do is I can kind of take this here and I can go in between the grapes so that it looks like, you know, they're a little bit more realistic, okay? There is a stem thing that kind of shoots out. Whoops, I messed it up, but I'll fix it, don't worry. So I can use the black as something that's gonna go kind of be a shadowy in between the bowl where it hits the side and where you don't really see any fruit anymore. I'm gonna take the black also, and I'm gonna define my bowl in the front, which has all these different shapes and things, different lines. And they kind of go like this. As long as they're the same pattern going over and over, it should look pretty good. And they kind of look like menorahs, but I don't think they are. I don't know, because it's a whole set of dishes. Also, I don't know if my friend is of the Jewish background. I have no idea. Sometimes the names you know, and sometimes you don't. So let's put this in. Everybody pretty much knows Lombardi's Italian, but sometimes people put a Y. And I think that is a section of Italy with a Y. Okay, so we're gonna put these lines in, okay? And they're a little, you wanna go light because this is glass. So I'm kind of dragging a dry brush. I'm gonna do it up here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm kind of dragging it along, okay? So that's making this like glassity effect that I love. By the way, glassity. Mary Sue is one of the 8 girls coming on the trip. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. She's such a good neighbor and smart, fun. All of them are fun. We're gonna have a great time. We'll see what the house is like, but it doesn't matter. It's all company. It's all in good company. So we're gonna go and put these in. This is kind of a cool bowl. But in the end, you're gonna see what I'm gonna do, and hopefully it comes out good. I mean, again, I don't always do the paintings good. Hopefully in the end, you know, I like to kind of whip it up in the end and be like, oh, wow. You know, her painting has looked horrible for 21 minutes. And then the 4 minutes of the last episode, my God, how did she do that? I'm gonna make my Austin Powers fans. And ooh, they're a little hard, but they are fans. So I'm going to make them going like this, okay? It's kind of a difficult painting, but it's okay. This is the psychedelic thing that you can't really see. But this is fun, and this is practice. This makes you good, whether or not this painting goes in the garbage someday or I get it on the wall at some point. Most of it is practice. This is how you become a better artist. So you gotta practice, you gotta do still lifes, and that's how you get better and better and better. And the more accurate you are, obviously, the better you are. So that's good. So let's see, the room that I'm in right now, all the lights are off. So it's very black. The only thing I can see are these bright lights. And I can see a red light that I look into. And then when the red light goes on, I know that you're looking at me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the background all black. Now, this is probably not what I would have picked for the composition, but I just wanted to show you that fun side of me that says, you know what? Let's go outside of the box, like Heather says, with the decorating. You know, even when I met her at the Fork and Fire, you know, there's always an array of colors. There's a, you know, a bright pink something, and then like a green pocketbook, a bolt of color here, a dash of color there. Always bright and nice. So I'm taking the black. Again, bigger brush, you're going to fill up a lot more space. But I'm just kind of blocking out the background. I'm going to put that in there. If I took a little sip of my acrylic paint right now, I wouldn't die. And I have this scratch in my throat. But I don't think I'm going to drink it. But I could. Oil paint, you don't want to do that. So I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to put in the black. And I can go away from it if I want, but I think I can spread it pretty good. And while you're doing this, remember, you know, I usually generally do one painting with one brush. Because when I'm traveling around, I don't want that many items. So if I'm sitting in the back of Fork and Fire, there's people dining and having restaurant stuff. They don't, you know, I don't want to have all my stuff in the way. So it's better to be as discreet as possible when you're painting at people's establishments. You also have to ask. So when I paint Miss Porter's, I believe I can paint on the sidewalk. I still ask, but you don't want to be on people's property, private property. So you can't be trespassing just because you see the perfect thing that you're going to paint. You got to ask people, okay? Sometimes you have to ask town planning and zoning. I think sidewalks are public, but you know, you never know. CVS is near my house, and we can't figure out like if my neighbor has to mow that part or if CVS does. We don't know. So sometimes, you know, having a sidewalk is great, and sometimes, like my parents, they have to shovel it because if someone slips, you know, you're liable. So we're putting the black. Now this is kind of odd. This could be a neat episode though, because I did put in the background, and these are very fun paintings to paint. So I'm going to step back a little so you can see a little bit what I'm doing. A lot going on. If I had made it just the fruit, I probably wouldn't have to do all this, but you know what? We have the 2 episodes, and you know, we may as well use them, okay? So I'm going to get back into the fruit in a minute, but we don't want this painting at the end not having the background that it needs, because then we'd need a 3rd episode, and I don't like that. Let's see. I know another movie, way too long. I mean, I think it won a Grammy or an Emmy or whatever you call it. Dancing with Wolves. Oh my gosh, that was so long for me to sit. Yep, that was a long one. Jaws is long though, but there's so much goofy things that happen so quickly. You know, the opening part of Jaws, the movie opens, and the first person eaten is like gone within a second. Then it takes a while. But the opening, right after. And that's Steven Spielberg, I hope. I think it was Steven Spielberg. But that's Steven for you. You know, suspense. And like what Don and Brian were saying, the suspense when you don't see the fin, I mean, when you only see the fin. Like if you only see the fin, you're kind of more scared of the fin than you are of the other stuff. You know, I'm hooked on these shark things because it comes up on my news feed. You know, Syracuse University comes up on my news feed. Oh, heading to Italy for 10 days to play in Italy. I don't know if the Italians are good at basketball. Who knows? They probably are. They gotta be. So I'm going over here and I'm putting all the black, and then when we have like 10 minutes left, I'll start back in the fruit. You know, if I have to leave this alone, I will. But as you can see, it's fun. And this is what I do when you're watching me on the street. I'm doing the same thing I'm doing now. I'm painting exactly what I see. So you don't see all this stuff that I see in the background, like this bug light here, that's actually a light. It's like a big, huge light. We have 10 minutes. He just pulled the card. I don't have earplugs today, and it's kind of fun because Kat and I really like to talk to each other through the mic. She'll say focus in or do this or, you know. She never tells me to shut my mouth and paint, though. She's so nice to me. Because I know we talk a lot. I like to talk. I like people. Okay, so I'm going to go up here. Not everybody, though, you know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd like to live in the middle of the woods, because I did. 350 acres. And the house was right in the center of it. And I mean, we loved it. Then as you get to be a teenager, then you not so much, you know? But it was nice. We could do whatever we wanted. No, you don't have to worry about neighbors or nothing. It's so nice. So I kind of do miss it. I'm gonna bend down and get some black, because we got a lot of black back here. Sorry about that, cat. There we go. You got me back on. Yeah, I didn't know I was gonna run out of black, but it's right there. And that happens too. So that's why when you're in college, they say, you know, don't skimp, because you get out in the field and then you got to go back to the box. You got to bend down. It's you know, it takes time and it wastes time. So here we go here. I'm trying out my new Weber grill, because my husband, you know, he doesn't get home till late. And he's just like my dad with the no answering the phone. He's like, don't touch the food. Don't even think about. And I'm like, what? You don't think I can put in a frozen pizza? No, I can do that. But I can do the grill. The grill's great. You just got to wait till all the meat falls off the bone, apparently, because that's what works for me. And then I used to put marinades, but I don't know what to use. It's generally Italian dressing, you know, when you're grilling, but I don't know. I don't like corn on the cob. You'd think I might, but I don't like it. It's like eating a lobster in front of people. I don't like the corn. I don't like the look. I feel like a, you know, what was that cartoonist? BBC. That's what I feel like. It's still a cartoon. It's very in. It's like the Stone Ages, you know? But that's what I feel like. So here we go. I'm gonna go in here. Now, Joanne is in Ireland now and having a ball. She put a few pictures through, and you know, it's very rainy and cold, although they did have some good weather, she said, so that's good. I know another friend of mine is in Italy, Molly, and she says it's so hot. So I don't know, you know? I mean, I don't know. It's pretty hot here, but it got really nice all of a sudden. And don't forget the fall is coming. And I went to CVS earlier and I got some candy corn. Oh, it's already out. I think candy corn is always in the CVS section where you can buy like 2 bags for $1. I think it's all there. So I know this looks goofy with the background, but you're gonna be able to see that my show is back here. And we said 10 minutes, so I'd imagine we only have 5 left, so I better get back to my fruit. But it's okay. If we end on this episode and I have an unfinished painting, someday I'll throw it in the background and we'll put it in the background so that you can see the finished product. Because again, yeah, television is television. And I just heard some lightning maybe. Television's television, and you don't want people getting bored. I certainly don't want you getting bored with my show. So it's fun to move around here, do different stuff. Yeah, so I think next show I'll announce that I'm gonna have my auction, and anybody that wants to come, just show up at my shop, whatever, who knows? I don't know. I need to live in a resort area where people are like, honey, we need to bring something back from our trip with us. And you know what they do? They pick, I'm gonna leave the top of the grape white, because see, it's gonna look like it's shining, and it's nice, okay? And yeah, I don't love this painting, but it's fun. You know what, I do like the colors. So I'm gonna go in and add more color, because the black is taken away a lot. But it's a pretty fun one, because now we have a Nutmeg TV actual live painting that we've never had before. So when you're trying to paint something very difficult like this, what you'd want to do too is squint your eyes. I've told you a million times, maybe not a million. Oh, and I forgot, while I'm at it, this is gonna, well, you know what? I'll do it on the next episode. I brought my hairdryer invention. It's this close to becoming perfect. And we have 5 minutes left, so I'm leaving the hairdryer for next time. So let's go in and let's put in the light. The light is coming right on the top of my fruit, and I'm gonna whip this up. So I'm gonna show you here what I'm gonna do. This side of the bowl is looking very white, very, very white, because the light's blasting down on it. And it comes all the way over here, even though I already put those other little things in there. I might leave some of them, okay? Okay, and it comes over here. It's a little showing through here. Okay, when you're doing a glass, like on a table, that's what you do too. I'm doing the outside of the light, even though the orange got in the bowl, that can be a good thing. That can be a very spontaneous, you know, happy little mistake, as Bob would say. And sometimes those work out really nice. This is gonna be a great painting, actually. So once I finish it, And I have the bowl right here. So when I go home, I can finish this painting. I probably have like 4 minutes left. It goes by very fast. It's so fun. So I'm gonna put my, and notice my water. It's gray. So you wanna change your water a lot, okay? It's like brushing teeth and combing hair, that kind of thing. So here we go. We're gonna go in and we're gonna put in a little bit of light because those lights are hitting the top of my grape. I do have an apple hiding that I said I was gonna put. So I'll put my apple coming over here, okay? And he'll be coming like that, okay? Generally, if you're drawing an apple, if most of it's red, paint most of it red. If most of it's green, paint most of it's green. If most of it's red and green, paint the half that looks red, red, and the other half green, okay? I'm gonna go in and put my grapes a little bit, you know, they're gonna have a little more purple on them because they're, you know, really nice here. I'll put another grape over here. And this was fun. This is a good episode. I recommend not putting the Nutmeg TV in the background. Here's my screen over here, so that's where I kind of see. Okay, but I'm gonna go focus in over here a little bit more. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of darks and lights on my fruit while we're closing up. The banana. Does anybody eat a banana when it's green? You know what I'm saying? When it doesn't peel, I've seen people eat slightly green bananas, and I wonder how they peel it. So the green, it's gonna be a lot of white with a little bit of yellow and a touch of green, okay? And that's gonna, a little bit more green, and that's gonna make that top of my banana, okay? See it? And that is going up like this. It's going through my grapes, and they're still wet, but that's okay. I'm gonna do it anyway, okay? And then I'm gonna mix in some of this and make a little bit darker yellow here, okay, because that's still wet. Put a little bit darker yellow for the bananas. Okay, the bananas have a lot of shadow on them too, so when I do come back, you're gonna see some different shadows going on with my bananas. And since we did two episodes, 2 minutes, the acrylic paint dries very fast. So since I did the 2 episodes, the paint dries very fast. So we have to remember that when I'm mixing here, a lot of the paint is already dried up, but it's still working. It's still working out fine, okay? When you're, last week, we noticed that when the Bruins, the yellow mixes with the black, it turns a terrible color. So again, you might want to work around your painting and leave what's wet, dry, and then go back to it when it's all the way dry, and it'll work out a little bit better for you. So I'm just gonna bop around while it's gonna edit and everybody's gonna say bye, and thanks for tuning in. Try one fruit. Put it on a piece of paper. Make sure you have a light source so that there's a shadow because that will be part of your composition. And it should work out just great. Okay, I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna fill in some of these parts that kind of aren't popping and it should be nice, okay? When I get done with this, I'm gonna bring it back next time and it should look really nice. We got this going here. I never really did get to the psychedelic, so let's do it. What I'm gonna do is add some light because it's hitting this and it's turning very, very light. So it's getting a very whitish gray here, see, like this, okay? And I'm gonna put this in where it's all hitting the light, and it's hitting a lot of it. So it's hitting every single fan, okay? So think of those kaleidoscopes, okay? Think of those kaleidoscopes. It goes like this. They're all kind of pizzas. And again, I'm gonna have to steal this table, Nutmeg TV, and take it home because I don't have a table like this, okay? And the light goes all the way over here. It's a very interesting table. If you can't handle something in a painting, make the whole thing a neutral color. Don't worry. I'm not saying I can't handle it, am I? But even, you know, I come across challenges all the time. It's good to paint a challenge. They have another place if you're interested in painting nudes. I'm picky, as I said, very picky about painting nudes and who I want to paint and where I want to go and all this stuff. So, but I know a lot of people go to the Red Barn in New Britain. So if you're interested, I'm sure they're picky. I'm sure they do like background things and all that nowadays. They didn't do it before, but now they probably do. I'm just going to throw in a little bit more of the bowl. You know, I'm going to leave that design. And thank you, Landis. I still have these. I love them. So nice. Every now and then, I'm trying to weed out my